Welcome back to Focal Point AFR Talk. Ryan Fisher is my name. The program is Focal Point, the home of muscular Christianity on Conservative Talk Radio. The number for the Capitol Hill switchboard, make a note of it, because what I'd like to have you do in this hour, I'd like to have you call your representative, if you're minded to, call your representative, urge her representative's office in Washington, D.C., urge your congressman to become a co-sponsor of Tom Graves' bill to defund Obamacare, and report back what kind of reaction you get from the staffers you talk to. I got a call over the news break from someone who had called her congressman's office, and the woman just sounded weary, sounded tired, like she'd been inundated with phone calls on exactly this topic. And you know, the caller that called this congressman's office said, look, if he doesn't co-sponsor this bill, I will never vote for him again. And, you know, the congressional lady was very polite and said, thank you, I appreciate your call and all that. But I got to tell you, these phone calls, they make note of that. I mean, they make note of that. The thing that these guys are scared about the most is not getting reelected. I mean, I discovered that working with legislators in the past. The only thing that matters to them at the beginning is getting elected. And then after that, for the vast majority of them, the only thing that matters to them is getting reelected. That's all that matters to them. So everything is a political calculation for them. Will this help me or hurt me in getting reelected? Now, if these people start hearing from their base, look, you don't co-sponsor this thing, I'll never vote for you again. I will actively work for your opponent in a primary. I mean, that gets their attention. That's actually going to start to matter more to them than what the New York Times is going to say about them, or what Speaker Boehner is going to say. I mean, a lot of these guys live in fear that Speaker Boehner is going to punish them. Things are so bad, by the way, that Speaker Boehner is actually out there trying to make a deal with Democrats. I mean, I'm serious about this. Speaker Boehner, they've got 235 to 199 or 234 to 199 margin or something like that in the House. They've got like a 35 vote margin in the House. He does not need Democratic support to pass anything. But he knows that he's losing the base on this. He knows he's got a rebellion on his hands. He doesn't want this thing to go forward. So he's looking for some excuse to try to keep this bill from coming to the floor, Representative Tom Graves' bill, to keep it from coming to the floor. So he's out there trying to do backroom deals with Democrats. So that gives you a window of insight into Speaker Boehner's mind. He's not out there trying to understand his Republican caucus. He's not out there trying to help his Republican caucus assist them in getting legislation that will stop Obamacare. He's over there trying to make a deal with the Democrats to obstruct the work that the conservative Republicans are trying to do in the House. That is how bad things are. By the way, got a polling data here. This is from NBC Wall Street Journal poll, NBC News Wall Street Journal poll, by a 2-to-1 margin. This is significant, ladies and gentlemen. By a 2-to-1 margin, Americans do not want the debt ceiling raised. Now, the debt ceiling is going to have to be dealt with by October 18. That's the drop dead date. That's when the government completely runs out of money. I mean, we're talking about two different things here. We're talking about a continuing resolution that's got to be done by September 30 to fund the government for next year. Then we've got a second issue. The way the government funds the appropriations bill gets passed on September 30. The only way the government can fulfill those commitments is borrow money. They're out of room to do it. They're up against their debt ceiling. That's got to be dealt with by October 18. So you got this perfect storm. And 44 to 22, 44% of the American people told the NBC News Wall Street Journal poll, we oppose any increase in the debt ceiling. Only 22% of the American people support it. So by a 2-to-1 margin, the American people are saying, look, we've had it with this excess government spending. We've had it with borrowing. We have had it with throwing more and more bricks in the backpacks of our kids and our grandkids. We do not want you to raise the debt ceiling. 44 to 22, 2-to-1 margin. Don't raise the debt ceiling. So call your representative, 202-224-3121, 224-3121. Be polite, be civil, be courteous, but be direct. I urge Congressman X to co-sponsor, not just support, but co-sponsor Tom Graves' defund Obamacare bill. They'll know exactly what you are talking about. Let's see. I pulled that legislation up. I had it in front of me here just for a second. Let me see if I can grab a quick look at the co-sponsors. Tom Graves from Georgia is the primary sponsor. Let me see if I can pull up the list of sponsors. I'll just run through this as quickly as I can. Jim Jordan from Ohio is a co-sponsor. Representative Mark Meadows, North Carolina. Jeff Duncan, South Carolina. Steve Sutherland from Illinois. So from Florida rather. Pay attention. If your legislator's not on this list, he really needs to hear from you. If your legislator is on this list, call him and say, I support what you're doing. Stand with you 100%. Doug Collins from Georgia. Raul Labrador from my home state of Idaho is a co-sponsor. Trey Gowdy from South Carolina, one of my heroes. He's a sponsor. Randy Weber from Texas. He's a sponsor. Pete Olson from Texas. He's a sponsor. Tom Marino from Pennsylvania is a sponsor. Steve Palazzo from Mississippi is a sponsor. Joe Pitts from Pennsylvania is a sponsor. Paul Brown from Georgia is a sponsor. Matt Salmon, Arizona. James Sensenbrenner from Wisconsin. Richard Hudson from North Carolina. Jeb Hensarling from Texas. Ron DeSantis from Florida. Lynn Westmoreland from Georgia. Thomas Massey from Kentucky. Phil Gingrey from Georgia. Jim Bridenstine from Oklahoma. Mo Brooks from Alabama. Bill Cassidy from Louisiana. Randy Neugebauer from Texas. David Schweikert from Arizona. Scott Perry from Pennsylvania. Blake Farenthold from Texas. Bill Huizinga from Michigan. Luke Messer from Indiana. Bill Flores from Texas. Mick Mulvaney from South Carolina. Tim Huelskamp from Kansas. No surprise there. He's one of the really good ones. Steve Daines from Montana. Joe Wilson, South Carolina. Marsha Blackburn from Tennessee. Reed Ribble from Wisconsin. Tom Price, Georgia. Austin Scott from Georgia. Steve Shabbat from Ohio. Trent Franks, another one of the really great guys up there from Arizona. And Marlon Stutzman from Indiana. All of those are co-sponsors of Tom Graves' bill. If you haven't heard, if you didn't hear the name of your co-sponsor, your representative really needs to hear from you. And if you heard the name of your co-sponsor, call his office, 202-224-3121, and tell him I support what you're doing 100%. And if you want another reason to defund Obamacare to support Representative Tom Graves' bill and get your congressman to be a sponsor, we'll take phone calls on the other side, so stay with us. But Betsy McCoy explains that what the Obama administration is going to be doing is they're going to be asking under Obamacare intrusive questions about everybody's sexual history. Now, this is nobody's business. This is nobody's business but the patient and the doctor. This is going to be a part of the federal database. Here's what Betsy McCoy says. Whether you're at the dermatologist or the cardiologist, dermatologist dealing with acne, cardiologist dealing with your heart, you will be asked, are you sexually active? If so, do you have one partner, multiple partners, or same-sex partners? Nobody's business but the patient and the doctor. Back in 2.